Today we would like to discuss the usage of the progress evaluation or test planner or test set in our program. This section is actually very important and can help you to manage athletes' progress in real time. To start, we usually have to select the proper test set, and it can be selected from the program or added manually, actually with the same with any parameters you want. Typically, we prefer to use an interval set as a test set because it is because the functional type of sets, such as interval sets, really most informative for the purpose of evaluation of athletes' abilities at any given time. So, as you know, the interval sets in 3S program typically are located in zone 2 and 3. And in current example, in current week, we can see that Tuesday and Thursday we have such sets. So in Tuesday we have in green, indicated by green color, we have set in zone 2, and on Thursday we have another set in zone 3. So we basically can select either one. But again, for the purpose of our example, I would like to use the set in actually a longer set in zone 2. To me, it will give more information about this particular athlete, and I would like to go and as a coach, and this is actually an actual example, I would like to go with this account. So we can see this set in our daily schedule in the daily workout, and it is 10 200 meters with a keep time of 3 minutes 10 seconds with 15 seconds of rest in between repetitions and 152 156 heartbeats heart rate, which calculated as an average heart rate per set in our system. So you want to stick in actual time, you want to stick to higher values of the suggested heart rates. So to introduce the set now and convert it into a test set, we select a progress evaluation section, and we can add here, when we come here, we can actually view the sets which we have in our system. So we click on My Tests, and right now we have the selection of sets which already been added as test sets for this particular athlete. I've already added a set as 10 200 meters with 20 seconds, but if you would like to add any other test with any other distance, assuming this is an interval set, you just add a new set, click on add a new set, and which will allow you to select a distance, number of repetitions, rest time, stroke in swimming. In rowing, it will be boat or ergometer. And also you can select the day of execution. However, at this point of time, this day does not transfer the set into your daily workout. It's just for your mental note. And then from here, whatever parameters you will add, just click on add interval set, and the set will be created. So once you return back to my tests into the program, all you'll have to do is to start entering results, assuming, of course, at any given time, any week, you would like to run the set. So typical execution of the number of test sets per week is not limited, because every set we're using for as a test is really a set which is calculated as a training set. It's not necessarily full out set as it commonly viewed by coaches. So it's really a training set calculated for this particular day. And what we evaluate here is really the ability of the athlete to stick to or maintain particular pace or effort for a duration of time for that particular set. And so with this, we just go into the selected set and add athlete's result in that set. In this particular case, we have suggested, when we come to this set, we have suggested time for current week with his actual rest time and heart rate calculated by the system. And all we'll have to do is now to substitute the suggested time with actually executed. So for this example, actually, we requested the athlete to execute this particular set, and we received the times of execution for the set. This is an actually a real life scenario, and we would like to enter this results into the system right now. At this time, I transferred the results which we received from the aslet into the table, and I changed the actual times, I changed the actual rest times, and from here, all you have to do is just to preview test result, click on that button, and what you'll receive here is the ability to see what happens with the execution of the sets in relation to target times. So the difference between the blue and yellow line will actually give you some idea about the quality of set execution. So in this part, and we'll be talking about it a little bit later, but what's happening here is that you can see that consistency of the execution is really all over, and the asset is not is really going faster and slower all the time. It's not necessarily a high quality of execution, which by anyway will influence the training effect which the athlete will achieve. This is a discussion. This is really a topic for a separate discussion. But from our observations, we know that even under coaches, strict coaching guidance, most of the athletes are executing their sets at about 60 to 70% efficiency. So basically, the quality of execution is not really there, even if you have very specific set in hand. But anyway, all we have to do right now is just to review it and store the test result into the database. So once the test result is stored, it appears on our schedule. And in this particular case, this is 10 to 100. And what I've done here is selected actual date of execution, which was on February 11th of 2009. So once the set is recorded into the system, now we can see how this effort placed in relation to progression. We can go to analytics, and now we select the distance in question. This is of course in 25-meter pool freestyle, and we can specify the dates or period of time we can look at, but in our case we are in first season anyway, and so we show test results. We click on show test results, and what we should receive where we are in relation to our progression. So the dots here, the blue dots, are indicating our progression, our actual progression calculated based on the execution of test sets. Remember, the test sets intensity is not full out intensity, and therefore we have to recalculate the test set results into full out results. So in this particular case, our February 11th set was executed. The converted time was on 200 was 5:52, where the expected time was 3:02. So basically what we see here is the actual ability of the athlete is exceeding his progression or planned progression curve. Again, we go now into evaluation of the test result section and really making a decision about what to do with this. So in general, it is not uncommon when the athletes are showing faster times early on in the season, faster than planned, because sometimes the athletes are coming from a previous season, and so when we start our season, we discount their full out effort by more than 10% in some cases, and therefore we deliberately reduce their ability or their target maximum time for that period of time. So in that sense, we're actually comfortable where the athlete is. Of course, we can, well, depending on the goals of the season, depends on the athlete's situation, of course, we can go ahead and adjust the planned curve. And in this case, the way to adjust it will be to drop the lower the standard and really select the maximum full out effort lower. So the maximum full out effort located in your profile 1, and in this case it's calculated based on 100 meter, 118. So what our analysis review is that 118 in this particular case is maybe really not indicative and a little bit slow in relation to current abilities of the athlete. So from a coaching perspective, I'm really happy where the athlete is because I'm really in really safe zone. I know that the athlete is going ahead of his time and ahead of his ability, so he is comfortably reaching the targets in his training set. Assuming that the athlete is in his 40s, mid 40s, and he's a master swimmer, uh, that is really where my comfort zone as a coach. And it's also early on in the season, so I can always be able to push him harder. And especially, we know that this time will come. So the delay will be in about 2 to 3 weeks between where he is actually on that level. So right now we are a little bit ahead of our schedule, and what it means to an athlete that he has an easier time early on. Again, it's not always a bad thing. But this is the interpretation of the results where we are receiving. So I hope you enjoy this presentation, and if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call us as usual at 804 519 1201. Thank you for your time. Goodbye.